Today I'm welcoming Alex Miska to the podcast as part of the 2017 GRL Blog Tour. Alex is a certifiable math geek who spends her days dreaming of quirky, sexily intelligent men falling in love. She's a former math teacher to students with learning disabilities and is a disability advocate. Nestled in a small house in the woods, Alex is the doting parent of a happy, fluffy white dog and his somewhat gloomy older brother, as well as the servant to two highly opinionated Siamese cats. Welcome, Alex.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, too. You're a new-to-me author. So Let's start off and have you tell me what kind of stories you write.
Okay, well, they're happy, quirky books intended to make people smile. Geeks falling in love. Their pets are a big part of the family. And I try to touch on some serious issues, but in the end, it's just intended to make people smile and have the warm fuzzies. An escape.
So tell us about your series that you've got going.
The More Romance series has two more brothers. The third is straight, but and one of their friends all fall in love with math geeks, and their pets, as you get further on in the series, have more and more, a larger and larger role. But the final book is coming out at end of August, beginning of September. It's almost done.
So if folks come into GRL, will be able to pick that up from you.
Oh, yes, definitely. And Chance for More, the first book, will be coming out on audiobook soon.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah,
I'm very excited.
So in your mind, what are the ingredients that make a romance so enjoyable and popular?
It's really the characters. The plots are just kind of window dressing, but people read it for the characters. They want to live with them and fall in love. And it's kind of hard if you don't like the people involved. And the more you get to know the characters, the fuller they are, the more you get drawn into it and a part of it. So it's really just the characters more than the plot or anything else.
So along that line, you mentioned plot as window dressing almost.
Yeah.
So do you think that readers actually love tropes, or is it the characters that make the tropey book stand out from the crowd more than anything else?
It's both. Everyone says we want something different and exciting, and it is always cool to find one. But usually when you have time to sit down with a book, what you need is literary comfort food. Even foodies sometimes want macaroni and cheese or their mom's pot roast. So you pick up these books to satisfy your craving, and that's why tropes are there. So that you're like, oh yeah, I want to read about a fireman, or I want to see a fake marriage. And the thing is, if you order a burger and fries and instead you get steak and mashed potatoes, yeah, that's great, and it seems like an upgrade, but it's not really what I ordered. So the tropes, you have to hit the parts that make it enjoyable, that make the trope what they are. If you have a billionaire, if he's just hanging out with another billionaire, the money doesn't really matter as much. An MPreg doesn't matter unless they worry about things like babies and pregnancy. And, having a baby or pregnancy is also a big deal. A fake relationship, they actually have to have a moment where they fake intimacy. But other than that, books are combinations of tropes. They're two characters getting put into it. There's external conflict, internal conflict, plot, and then the world they're in. It's different if you're in a small town in the Midwest, or if you're in New York City, or if you're in Scotland. They're all, or, if it's a paranormal world with alphas and omegas, or shifters, or vampires. These are all tropes that make it deeper. But really what matters is the characters and what their motivations are and their reactions. That's what makes it stand out. And that's what we're really looking for. So you like the situation, and then you want to see what happens. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise they'd all be identical.
Do you have favorite tropes, either as a reader or a writer?
That changes. Most of my favorite tropes are, if there's a fake relationship, it has to be for a good reason. I like when there are pets, but there don't have to be. but usually adults and intelligent adults are my big two favorite things. May, December, I like it, but I'm a teacher, so seeing a teacher getting with a student, it squeeches me out for some reason. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, I'll read just about anything. But I like happy books.
Now, you've mentioned before we started recording that you talk to your characters and you really let them take over. Now, what does that mean exactly?
Well, sometimes I start out with characters, and sometimes I start out with a plot. But that's all I start out with, and I get really weird about it and try to get to know the characters. So I figure out what's that one thing that really embarrassed them in middle school that they'll still remember at 3 o'clock in the morning and be unable to sleep, or what's their favorite food, or just weird random stuff that never gets into the book. And then I have the general outline of everything I want to have. I can even have long descriptions of what will happen in each scene. But in the end, it's really wooden and stilted unless I let the characters be themselves. And then they start to take off, and it gets a little crazy. And then I have to re-outline everything because they said, "I love you" too early. I'm like, it's 40% of the way through the book. Why are you doing this? Because it just felt right. Fine. So that's often what happens. And sometimes it just means awkward love scenes because nobody's completely suave in the bedroom. And so there's a lot more talking leading up to it than I'd planned.
So what are you looking forward to at GRL this year? Is this your first one?
Yes, this is my first one, and I am so excited. Being a reader, and even when I first started writing, it was very solitary. I didn't know that there was Facebook, and there's this huge community on Facebook of people just interacting and talking about things, and it's been so much fun. And so I felt very in my own little bubble until I started to branch out. Once I started publishing, I started talking to people, and I'm just so excited to meet all the people from that culture. The readers, the writers, everyone I've met so far has been really fun and sweet and smart, and I'm really excited to be silly with them.
Very cool. And it will be a very silly weekend for sure. Yeah. Now, you've got a giveaway for our listeners. What are you offering up?
Well, I've decided to give 3 e-copies of my first book. And if that one of those people already has that book, I'll give them a copy of another one for my backlist. And if they have all of those, I'll give them a copy of the final book in the series, which is coming out in a few weeks. And they'll get it as soon as it goes live on Amazon.
Very cool. Well, people will find a rafflecopter in the show notes for this week's episode, and we will find 3 readers for you.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm looking forward to it.
What's the best way for everyone to keep up with you on social media?
I have an author page that people can like, and that'll just give you the basic updates. But if you want to interact and chat and that sort of thing, friend me on Facebook. And because I have a page I use personally, and that's a lot of fun too. And you can always keep up with me on that.
Great. We'll link up to that plus your website and make all that available in our show notes as well.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks.
Well, Alex, it's been great talking to you. We look forward to meeting you in Denver.
It was great talking to you too. I'm really excited to meet you there too.
The Big Gay Fiction Podcast is thrilled to once again partner with Gay Romlit as a featured blogger. You can see all the participating blogs and the full GRL Blog Tour schedule at gayromlit.com/2017 blog tour. Gay Romlit is an annual retreat that brings together the people who create and celebrate LGBT romance for a one-of-a-kind must-attend gathering of dynamic, informal, and diverse fun. Each year, the retreat travels to a new city and hosts tons of events from raucous parties to mellow tete-a-tetes, while still maintaining a spirit of familiarity. GRL is the place to connect with old friends, find family you didn't know you had, and meet with both newly published and established authors in the gay romance genre. This year's retreat is set for October 19 through 22 in Denver, Colorado at the Denver Marriott Tech Center. For more information or to register, please visit gayromlit.com.